Hey, what's up? What a great summer to be a Chicago Bears fan. And I'm going to argue that the Chicago Bears just proved everyone wrong on multiple fronts. And the first front is that this defensive line is not keyed up and ready to go. And also on the second front is that Caleb Williams was a diva, he was Hollywood. Every indication is that he's not. And these two things are linked together because we've got a new vocal leader on this team. I'm thinking about getting a jersey. I absolutely love what he's saying and how he's playing. And that guy's DeMarcus Walker. And he is also a guy that, if we look back on the Justin Fields saga, one of the knocks, one of the worries of getting rid of Justin Fields is that he had the locker room in the palm of his hand. And most notably, the defense what had his back every step of the way. DeMarcus Walker just came out to really defend his guy at quarterback. And I just absolutely love that. So what's up, you guys? This is Sports Talk Bears. I'm your host, Sean. Hey, this is a family here. This is a place to just kick up your feet, kick back, and we're going to talk Chicago Bears football. So welcome to the family, you guys. Like and subscribe. Love having you here. So let's get to it, right? Bears defensive end DeMarcus Walker. He feels much more comfortable heading into his second season on the team, and he overcame some obstacles last year. But here's the thing. This summer, it's like the summer of DeMarcus Walker. This is the first time in 4 years this guy hasn't joined a new team, that he hasn't had to learn a new system, and he's finally fully healthy after missing portions of last year's camp. He kind of felt 75% healthy for most of the season, and that's got to be tough. And with this stability, there's a hope that this late season success that he had, and a lot of people didn't notice it. They wanted to focus on the general stats, the lack of sacks for the whole year, but he was really putting it together at the end of the year. He was really balling, and there's a hope that this stability combined with his health, that this late season surge that he had last year, that it's just going to enter into this year and continue. And this is here directly from Walker at Hallis Hall. It was definitely something that I had to take the punches and roll with it to understand that you have to continue to take it one at a time, continue to work, continue to get better. And Walker, just like the whole defense, got momentum towards the end of the season. 29 years old. He finished with 2 sacks in the last 4 games of the year. That's pretty fantastic. 7 quarterback hits, 10 total tackles, 4 tackles for a loss. And that's playing in 72.5% of the defense's snaps during those games. That's some success to build on. And he works so hard, and he wants to hone his craft. This is kind of interesting, and a lot of people aren't talking about this. And this is kind of what I like to bring to this channel. Walker attended a pass rush summit in Vegas during the offseason. He learned some new techniques, and he learned from some of the NFL's top edge rushers. Cam Jordan from the Saints, and more importantly, and this is a comparison everybody likes to give Austin Booker, Raiders' Max Crosby was there teaching, and Walker's bringing those back to the Bears this summer, and I hope he brings it back to the rest of the team too. And this is to hear more from Walker. It's just continuing to be effective. You can be a dangerous man going either outside and inside, so having that mindset can help not only me, but the team as well. And that's an interesting comment as well. He's saying you can be a dangerous man going either outside or inside. Couple of these practices this week, Coach Flus was bouncing him inside and outside. And is that an indication that this summit, this seminar, whatever you want to call it, that he went to, is it possible that it made him a more versatile and dangerous pass rusher? And him being bounced inside and outside, is that just Coach Flus recognizing that? I mean, he's always been versatile. It's one of the top reasons the Bears signed him. But man, he played from the inside during a 2-minute drill early in this last week. And hearing it from Coach Flus, he's an effective guy in there. He can go in and out. When you have that versatility, you can match him up on different people. Some guys can't do that. So you got Walker either opposite Montez Sweat on the edge of the defensive line. You might have him inside right next to our new three tech, Jervon Dexter, and it's just becoming a lot of fun to watch. And that worry that everyone had about the defensive line, it's not deep, it's not complete. Between guys like Walker, between guys like Martin, man, who's starting to show out as a pass rush specialist, then we've got a developing rookie. We've got Zach Randolph as a really nice piece as an undrafted free agent. We've got Jervon Dexter developing into that three tech, and I think he's very close. And then like a solid presence like Billings. I mean, seriously, looking at it objectively and how these players are developing, are you really going to say that this defensive line is going to be a trouble spot? I don't think it's going to be, especially with arguably the best secondary in the game behind them on the back end. I mean, and to talk about him as a difference maker, this is hearing directly from Walker. I know who I am as a person. My dad has a saying, if you listen to what other people say, you're not working. That's the attitude I want on this team. And that's the attitude that really is giving all of us so much optimism about this Bears team. They're not listening to outside sources. Quote, GM Ryan Poles is just working his plan, which is fantastic, regardless of the static that's coming out from the outside. So we're going to kind of do something a little different here. What we're going to do, we're going to shift gears mid-story. And I really want to talk about how DeMarcus Walker he went up to bat for his quarterback. And I really want to talk about this. So this is an article on NBC Sports Chicago, just a fantastic breakdown on this. I'm going to pull from it, but read the story in its entirety. I always want to give them props and credit. So let's get to it. So we're looking at DeMarcus Walker. He listened to all the talk about who quarterback Caleb Williams was during the pre-draft process. And I think everyone's been proven wrong. And I was one of those people. I was talking about red flags, all these worries. I wasn't really worried about the fingernails, but there were just so many narratives out that are now being proven false. And I owe him an apology. I actually regret being a part of that narrative. So the Bears veteran defensive end, he didn't pay any attention to the online characterization of his new quarterback. And he was even aware of the narrative that he was Hollywood, that he was a diva, that he was selfish, that he was arrogant. I mean, these weren't all unfounded, but they were a narrative that were outside of people actually sitting down and talking to Caleb Williams and figuring out who he was as a person. And it also didn't help that Caleb Williams was kind of a hermit throughout the process. He wasn't talking to the media. He wasn't putting himself out there. I mean, he kind of showed up at the combine with a shaggy beard and unkempt hair, and it just felt weird, man. But I think those narratives develop from a pre-draft vacuum, like I'm talking about, a lack of media appearances. And Walker just wanted to do something. He wanted to get to know Caleb before drawing his own conclusions. And like most people, he found that all these characterizations of Caleb couldn't be further from the truth. And let's hear it directly from Walker. I don't like how the media made him. Not you guys. I'm talking about the LA guys, just the mainstream LA media monster. I don't like how they made him this type of prima donna type thing and that type of stuff. You got to know this kid. Sit down and talk with him in the cafeteria. All this stuff is just like, nah, not at all. Sit down and get to know him, Good kid, man. I can't wait to see what he does. Special arm talent, and this offense has so many good weapons around him. Sky's the limit for that kid. I'm just trying to be funny, but every single time somebody talks about sky's the limit for this offense, I want to do a Ricky Bobby. Woo! Like you're at the dinner table, right? Doing the grace, talking about all the it's just so good, man. So we're talking about this. Sit down and get to know him. And for Walker, the main place where people misread Williams is obvious. The 2022 Heisman Trophy winner, he understands his talent. He believes in his ability. Self-belief. Is that a bad thing? Isn't self-belief something that you need as a star quarterback? Isn't that something that you absolutely is essential to the process? But I think if you're not careful, it can also be misconstrued. And Walker sums that up perfectly. See, Caleb is confident, And I feel like people can use that cockiness, and that's where I feel like people are wrong. You want anyone to be confident in what they do. In your job, you have to be confident. I mean, and this gets kind of funny. You want a confident boyfriend, you want a confident girlfriend, you want a confident husband, you want a confident wife. So, I feel like people can misconcept that. Man, he should be a therapist. That's really good language. So kind of the wrap up. Since becoming the Bears franchise quarterback, quickly dispelled all the false narratives that have been said about him. He has vocally and physically embraced every single aspect of being the standard bearer for this franchise. I mean, you can say what you will as Green Bay fans, but he joined a bar chant of Green Bay sucks, which was super funny. That was in Wrigleyville, and that was during a charity event. All of his teammates are praising the quarterback for his humility, his team first approach. He has said vocally, and he's done it, that he just wants to sit back and listen and learn and absorb everything like a sponge and not act like he knows everything. I just love this offseason search for a new quarterback. That it started with a lot of chatter. It started with a lot of talk, but this talk has been dispelled just by Caleb Williams being who he apparently is. And to copy that, I mean, not copy it, but GM Ryan Poles is exactly the same way. He didn't listen to the narratives either. He just stuck to the plan. In the end, there was no doubt in GM Ryan Poles' mind that he was drafting Caleb Williams the moment that he met him. And we are reaping the benefits of that. We are reaping the benefits of narratives being just narratives. And we have a front office that is being careful to understand whether a narrative is fact or whether it's fiction. And I'm just really glad that they found out that it was fact and drafted this dude. And DeMarcus Walker is just becoming solid bedrock on this defense. And he's also becoming solid bedrock in taking the lead and having this defensive side of the ball 100% in Caleb Williams' corner. And once again, that was a big worry. And that was a big worry of mine, that Justin Fields had this team so unified behind him, so unified behind the coaching staff. He was just a great leader. And Caleb Williams is picking up exactly where he left off. And the teammates say nothing but great things about him. The coaching staff is impressed. And you know what? I'm impressed. And super blessed to have him on the team. You guys, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Kick up your feet, join the family, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.